Very good evening, everyone. Let me know in the chat. Can you guys hear me? Great, great. How you guys are doing? Very good evening, Deep. Very good evening, Arad. Very good evening, Ankit. Thanks for asking. I'm doing great. So just finished actually office call and directly joined here. How you guys are doing? So I think you guys got one day, right? Thursday. You guys practiced all the things which we have done, like on the high level, how to create a new routes, how to create new APIs, how to create a model, how to interact with model with Node.js queries. My voice is breaking. Is it happening with everyone? Please refresh your browser, Nishant. Okay, so guys, when we started this module, so at that time we have understood why Node.js has come into the picture, why we are working with Node.js, what is Node.js. Then we understood if we want to develop any web applications, then what are the architecture we need to follow, right? We understood what is client, what is server, right? Then we understood what are APIs, how the data transfer is happening, which is what are the important aspect of any e-commerce applications, which plays main role, right? And we understood like API is the core one which plays the main role there. Then we understood some of the protocols there. While creating any APIs, we need to follow those protocols. Correct? That was whole theoretical topics which we understood. Correct? After understanding all those things, we started working on our project. That was e-commerce application. And that was web applications, right? Because we are going to open our website on web browsers. So, right. So how we started? We all started one project in our local environment, right? And for starting that project, we have started with Node.js installation. And once we install the Node.js, then automatically NPM comes to us, the Node Package Manager, which has all the modules which are required. Or another way we can say those helper modules which help us to develop any websites. Correct. Then we started understanding the parts of any e-commerce applications. Like we understood there is categories in any e-commerce applications, products happen, right? Then there is login and login credentials, sign up. These all things should be necessary in any e-commerce applications. We also understood if we want to add any products to our cart, how can we do that? Those all things we have understood till now. And while doing these things, we also looked for database part, right? We looked into the MySQL part, where we understood why database is needed, and then we how can we interact with MySQL directly as a raw form, also from the Node.js side. As a raw form, we have created some of the queries like insert, select, delete, update. These type of raw queries we have written. With these queries, we were interacting with database. Then we come into the Node.js side or any application side. Then we told that for interacting to any database, we will use ORM, which are they are the wrapper on top of these raw queries. They will provide you one object structure, And with these object structure, you will easily query or interact with databases. So till now, that's what we did. As a developer, you should know that how to interact with database, how to create any API, where to write your controller logic, where to write your model logic, where to write if somebody wants to create a new API, right? From which file we should start our application. All these things should be knowing as a backend developer. Okay, you should be knowing all these things right now, and that's what we have seen yesterday. Like in any companies, somebody is coming to you that they do not want to use MySQL, they want to use MongoDB. So now what you will do? You guys will go for finding out the correct ORM for MongoDB, and then again you will start the same structure, right? You will start creating one main server.js or index.js file. Then slowly you will start creating models, controller, route, middleware, these folders. Okay, guys. So that's what any application development start. Okay. So why I was revising all these things, I was just reminding you guys that whatever you guys have done till now, that all comes under the development part. Okay, while you are trying to develop some of the things. Okay, so now after you develop some of the things, the next stage in any of e-commerce applications or simple any applications, the next stage comes. That stage is known as testing. Correct. Once you develop your application, so once you develop your feature, you move into the testing stage. Okay, so today, I think in today class or in a next class also, we are going to discuss about now the second phase of our web development, or we can say software application, because software application has a life cycle. Correct. See, once you start working on any of the IT industries, there are some life cycles happens. Correct. So the first step in that life cycle is gather informations. So first you will connect with if you are working on service based company, you will connect with the customers, right? You will connect with different companies or your clients. Yeah, the right word is clients in service based companies. So you will connect with your clients and you will gather all the information. That is the first stage where we say that gathering all the information, right? The second stage is designing. So first you have gathered all the informations. Now you will design solutions for the customers. You will review those designs with them. Correct. So once you have created a design, now the third stage is starting development, right? So that's what we did. We till now we have gone into the third stage. We have developed now our application. Now the fourth stage is testing, and the fifth stage is deployment. Because now you are developing your application in your local machine, right? But now you want to make it public so everyone can access it. So that's why you need to move this application to deploy stage. We will see that part also, but today or in next class we are going to discuss about the next stage, which is the testing stage. Okay. Okay, one more thing to clear here. Most of the organizations already have the testers, right? Their role is different. As a developer, you will not do fully testing. So once you see for your applications, there are, see, as a testing, whatever you are developing, you have to test everything. Correct. You have to test everything. Small features, a small line you are including in your code, that line should be tested. Correct. So that's why in the industries, people hire some of the testers. You guys have also seen some of the testers roles are already there, but sometimes developer also has to do a lot of testing. They have to write some of the testing code also in their application, and that type of testing mostly called as unit testing, where we generally test our functions, or like whatever code we are writing as a developer, we are writing everything in the function base, right? You remember, like callback are there. Everywhere we are writing the async functions, controller, all those things, right? So we have to test all these things, like small things we need to write there. So that's why we, as a developers, you sometime need to write unit test for your applications. So that's why the relevant team has included these two lectures in this module. So you guys just understand what are the terms generally testers use while doing their while writing their testing code, or while they are doing the testings. These two, because in these two lectures you guys will be getting a lot of new things which generally testers do. But you guys should be aware of those terms, like there is a, like what are the frameworks needed, and once we know about the frameworks, how we write test for any of our applications, these things you should be aware of, right? So that's why in the today class or in next class we are going to look into the testing stage. Okay. And I am again telling, lot of new things will come into these things, because see, when we started development at that time also new things are coming, but we were continuously, in many classes we were just repeating things, like we are writing logic in controller, we are writing middleware in our middleware folder. So that's why you guys know about these things. Like now you guys can easily understood, if you have to do these things you have to go to that folder. But right now in the testings we have only two classes, and there will be a lot of things will be new for you. So I would recommend to everyone here that try to understand whatever we are trying to tell you, and do not remember everything. Just understand how the tester do these things. And if you in your company, if you also got a task for writing test cases, so you guys can also start writing it. That was our intention today. Okay guys, so let's we will dig deeper in that. Let's see first whatever the questions we had. Okay. So Nilanjan is saying we will be unit testing our e-commerce app. Yes, I haven't understood the set roles method. Sure, Likit. By inspecting, we cannot see the backend except front-end code. By inspecting, we cannot see the backend except front-end code. Uh, can you repeat your question, Ankit? Hello, sir. In controller named as filtered product, if I am passing min cost and max cost in query for product, and if there is no product which comes in the range of min cost and max cost that I pass in queries consists showing the product which has max cost, how do I fix it? Okay, so it could be. Uh, so I need to check this logic for you, Vishal, because if there is if there is any product which is not coming in between the min cost and max cost, then it should return empty array for those scenarios. Correct. So we will check this code. I think we have the revision class after 2 or 3 days. So just remind me this thing at that day, and we will check this code. Okay, Vishal. So just write this question, and let me also write this. Let me also write this in my notes, which we will open on that day. Okay. Yeah. So I've written that one. So Ankit, you're repeating your question. By inspecting, we're able to see the HTML code, not the backend code. Yes, Ankit. So the backend code, you cannot see it on the browser, because browsers only call the APIs, right? And those APIs goes to your server. So server, there will not be any code from the server side on the browsers. Okay. Uh, I like Likit, we will talk about the set roles. Okay. So let me take the next questions. Then we will look into the set roles one more. Why by inspecting we are able to see the HTML code? Not okay. That's what we understood. Parag is saying what modification need in HTML file so that after verify token it's get load. What modification need in HTML file so that after verify token it's get load. So Parag, see, from the UI, first you once you will call the sign in API, so you will click on the sign in API right button, sign in button on UI, right? Now on the back at the same time, once people are clicking on signing button, you will call the sign in API, right? On the server side. Once you are getting the sign in API response, you will check that response, that token is existing there. You will save that token. Response status is 200. You got the user informations and user roles like authorities, which we are passing. Then you will navigate the user to the next page, which you want to show it as a home page in the HTML code. Okay, Parag. So that's how the things work on the UI side or in the HTML side. So they will check for those response. They will wait for those response. Until then, you will see the loading icon on UI. And once you got the response, you will be navigated to second page, another page, which you have want to open. Okay, Parag. That's how it works on the UI side. Okay, now Ankit is saying how a project breaks within a team to assign a task. So see, Ankit. So it depends. Mostly, see, it's not very difficult breaking a task between a team because see, as a manager or as a team lead, once you got any project from the client side, at the design step, you already know that the things which you like, how many screens you need to develop, what are the servers API you need to create, what are the database, like what are the tables you need to create in database. These all things you will understood at the designing and like resource gathering time. At that time you will understand all these requirements, right? So once you have all these requirements, now you will start finding out people. Correct. And now you understood like on the front end side, you have to develop like 50 screens, right? 50 HTML pages you want to create. So now you will hire like one developer, right? One front end developer, right? In similar ways, like now the deadline also comes in the picture. Like if you want to complete this project in 1 month, then you will understood, okay, one person cannot do it in this much time. You will go for hiring two front end developers, right? Now you know that less APIs are there, so you will go for one backend developer, which will be working on the backend side fully, creating the APIs, connecting with database, right? So that's how actually they start working. They start hiring people, and then once they hire people, after that, based on their skills, their roles, people they just divide the task. Whatever the screens they need to develop, those screens will be half divided between two front-end developers, right? And they will see at the starting there will not be backend APIs, right? So they will create some sample data. With that sample data, they will start integrating their UI screens. In meanwhile, in 10 days, one API will be ready, right? So that's how the team collaborate. They use the GitHub repos where like both of the all three developers are sharing their code and they are running in different machines. So that's how Ankit in real time. That's how I work. That's how most of the people are working. Okay, Ankit? Okay, so next question from Divyakanta. How the token will be added to header automatically after sign in? No, that it does not happen automatically. As a front-end developer will do this. Next time, whatever request you are going to make, front-end developer has to add that token in header. It will not happen automatically. You can see in the Postman also, right? It was not happening automatically. I was adding that header every time. So this will not happen automatically. Okay. So are we good with the whatever we did till now? I know that set roles is still who was asking? Likhit was asking. So see, set roles and get roles, these are the two methods which comes with many to many association or not the roles. Actually, do not confuse with the last term, set and get. I think I would say that with many to many association, two methods comes to us, which is getter method and setter method. Okay, and how you know that, how the set roles has been created. So set roles only be created based on your table name. So right now you are users, yeah. In the from the user, you are trying to set the roles, right? For users, you were trying to create some roles for that user. So that's why, and because between users and roles, many to many association is there, correct? So now once you will set the roles for user, so you will just simply use user dot set roles, and once you want to get those roles, you will simply use user dot get roles. Same goes with any models. Now, if we talk about product and cart, so there was also same example. Users and roles, now product and cart. One product can be added to multiple cart. So now the method would be set cart, get cart, correct? Or if we take from the cart perspective, so cart, from the cart we want to get product, so it would be set product, get product. So that's how things are happening here. It is only happening in many to many association. So you guys just need to remember these things. So once we have many to many relationships, we always have one extra table there, apart from two models. So apart from two models, we will always have one extra table. And for setting and getting things from that table, we always use set and get. Set product, set cart, get product, get cart. और ये हमेशा जिस मॉडल को तुम यूज कर रहे हो उसके बेस पे होता है. जैसे कि तुमने देखा होगा, लेट मी शेयर माय स्क्रीन गाइस, यू गाइस विल, लेट मी शो यू, let me open the backend cohort project for us, and let's go back to any of like users or cart one in the controller part. You see, so always, where is that? This is the sign up one. Yeah, you see, always first we get the user, first we create, like get the user or create the users. After that, we are only using the set roles, user dot set roles. And same way, once you like, if you want to do opposite, set users, like in the role table, if you are adding some roles, adding some users for any role, so you will use set users here also, you can use set users also, but at that time you need the role model here, not the user model. So that's how it always work opposite. So once you are setting roles, you have to go with the user model, and once you are setting users, you have to go with roles. Okay, and very simple thing it is doing, it is just creating the relationship between both of the models. Okay, let me come back to the, it is simply creating the relationship between both of the models. Okay, I came to know that if association is one to many or many to many, the name of model as target get pluralized. Yes, it is right. Even like if you can see that in the database, all the tables were automatically created as a sort, it's in lowercase with s. If you will see in the database, all the tables were creating with the s pluralized form only. That's totally right, Vishal. For one users, we are setting many roles, and for one roles, we are setting many. Yes, and for that, we need to use set users. So once, see, when we are trying to set, just take for first line of yours, one users, we are setting many roles. In this scenario, you will use user dot set roles. And now take the another line. For one role, we are setting many users. In that scenario, you will take role dot set users. Okay, that's how these many to many associations are working. But generally, because we are interacting more with users, so that's why we are using user dot set roles. Because पहले हम users create करेंगे, then उसके लिए role set करेंगे, correct? So that's how these things work. Always we go with users. First we create users, then we set roles for them. But yes, it could go both ways. It could go both ways. But what if the model name is roles? Then we use set roles. No, it's again set roles only. You have to just use set roles. I have one like this. You can see, right? This one. We have the products, right? You see the look at the model name here. The products was there, right? Products. And when we were setting the product, you see, we were using the get products and set product only. Do not confuse with these things. We are using simple the get products and set products. Okay. Yes, model name is by default made singular by the sequelize. But Vishal, as you can see here, yes, I think that's right. That's right. We can say that conclusion we can say model name can be sequelize. But like internally we can say sequelize is doing these things, but you see, it's not happening every way, like every time. You see, this is the model name which we have taken is a capital, right? Products, and whenever we are using products anywhere, we are using with this name only. But yes, we can say internally sequelize is using it as a singular only, because that's why I said products are working. Internally, it is taking it as a singular form only. That we can say. But on the code side, whenever we are using the whatever name we have taken in the plural or singular, it is working everywhere fine. But yes, I think as a good practice, I would say try to whenever you are creating any models, try to go with singular, because sequelize internally create the pluralized form while creating the table. So I think yes, that could be the best practice whenever you are creating any model. I have seen some of the like examples and the blocks as well. So everyone is using when they are creating any models. I see everyone is using the singular form, and that helps a lot to understand these things also. But yeah, both ways can work. But yes, try to follow always go with the singular form. Okay, guys. So are we good with that, guys? Okay, so Hariharan has question. I'm seeing after a very long time Hariharan in this class. So difference between capital sequelize and small sequelize in main index.js we use sequelize and in product.js we are using sequelize. Let me check this part. You are saying in the which one main index.js. Okay. Let me share my screen also. We'll see. So in main index.js we were using the this sequelize. Okay. Okay, so it is coming from models. So let's go into the models. Oh yeah, this is sequelize. Okay, so capital sequelize is directly coming from the package. You can see this is coming from directly from here. Require sequelize. But yes, you can see small sequelize. Small sequelize we have assigned here in this model index.js. We have assigned here, and all the things like connections and all the models, everything we are adding in this sequelize only, the smaller one. So that's the difference. So the difference between is the capital sequelize is the package one, right? The package, whatever the package we are getting here, whatever the things package is providing us, that's where we are using the capital sequelize. So see, first thing sequelize is providing you to create a connection with database. So that's why you're using the new sequelize. Let's see other places what is the package is providing us. Let me search globally this, then we can understand wherever we are using the capital sequelize. You mentioned in product.json somewhere you mentioned, right? Where we were using your first thing, yeah. You can see here we're using the capital sequelize. So you see the other things which sequelize is providing, other than making a connection, it is providing you types while creating any table, while creating any the columns. It is providing you these type of default types. There will be other things also which capital sequelize is providing us. Let's check. Are we using any other places? Everywhere we're using a small one, small one. Yeah, index.js, which is the, yeah, this is the main file only. Yeah, on other places, I think we are using everywhere the the smaller one. So the difference between is the capital one, capital sequelize is the package one, which whatever the things package is providing to us, and a smaller one is we have created that variable, and after making connection to sequelize, whatever things sequelize has after making connection, those things we are getting in small sequelize. Okay, Hariran? That was the only difference. And we are going to use most of the time small sequelize. Okay, but some of the things, some of the places where we needed some of the things at those time, at those times, we are going to use the capital sequelize also. We are going to use both. Okay. Yes, since we create, okay, yes, server engage in, okay, since we created data in user table, use user.set role side. Yes, yes, Joseph. We created data in user table. Now, once we created user in the table, now we are going to set the roles for that. That's right. So why we are using use strict at the start in most of the JavaScript file? So see, use strict, it's a JavaScript part. Okay, Nilanjan? The reason for using the use strict is there are some of the things like it has come after ES6 only. Before ES6, like there was ES5, ECMAScript 5. At that time, use strict was not there. But the reason for use strict is there are some of the things with JavaScript is bad, like global initializations of variables, or sometime like you have created variables, you have not created variables, and you are still using this. Do you like you have not initialized or declared those variables, but you are still using those variables because the JavaScript has the global scopes. So those type of things, with the help of use strict, we stop it. So like small mistakes where we unknowingly do those mistakes, with the help of use strict, we will just, whenever we are going to run our applications, at that time we will get the errors that these things are not possible, because JavaScript is very dynamic language. Lot of things JavaScript compile and understood when you write your codes, right? Once you write your code, a lot of things happen on the JavaScript compiler or runtime side. Runtime, mostly on the runtime side. So that's why they have introduced use strict. There are a lot of features they provide, but the one feature which I remember right now, that is the global scoping. It stopped the global scope. You cannot declare the global variables there, or without declaring variable, you cannot use that variables. It will throw errors. These type of changes they have, with the help of use strict, it will automatically assign to your JavaScript file. So I remember that's why we use a use strict. Okay, similar to, like, more related to TypeScript, I would say. Like when you are moving toward the TypeScript, so whatever the features TypeScript is providing you on the syntax side, that's what use strict also does. That use strict could be the one part of that, we could say. Okay. Yes, sir, I got to know that we use sequelize as an instance of sequelize. Yes, it's an instance. That's right. Is it necessary to use in every file? Yes, it's recommended. Right now, after ES6, people has started recommending it to use the use strict, because it helps us to make lot of like what we say, like lot of mistaken. It helps us to reduce lot of mistakes which JavaScript does. We see, as a developer, we thought it's working, but internally JavaScript only knows how it is working. So those type of mistakes, with the help of use strips, it stops. Repeat difference between capital S and small s. So capital S, Joseph, it's the package where we are using. It is the capital sequelize is the package is exporting us, right? If you see the screen, here we are using simply the capital sequelize. It is this package is giving us the capital sequelize. And now let's say this is the sequelize. We have created this variable, and now once we make the connection, so now we are taking one instance of that sequelize and then using this sequelize everywhere. You can see we are just like in this DB object. Now this DB is also the object which we have created, correct? So we are assigning both smaller one and capital one. So the capital one is the one which package is providing us, right? Because package provides a lot of things. So one of the things is sequelize, and this smaller one is one instance of that sequelize where we are making connection with the database. So that's the difference between capital small, capital S, and small s. Sir, in controller card.js, we are having one variable const already added product equal to get product. What will be the value if it has no product inside the card? Undefined? Yeah, it will be empty array. It will be empty array. JavaScript is forgiving language. So to make rules strict, we use strict to make it smaller, noticeable, right? So yes, we can say it in Indian. That's also right. There are like some of the examples. I will just read about them, about the use strict. Then I will share about that. Okay. We can think of serialize as a constructor function and serialize it is copy. So do we need workbench or postman for today's class? Not needed. Not needed. Okay, guys. So that was all about the doubts which you guys has, right? And I think I will write two things. So one is the doubt which Ankit has asked. Ankit was telling, and the second one I will write in my there. So that one the use strict. So we will take some example of this. Okay, we'll understood use strict also. Okay, these are the two things which we will discuss in our revision class. Okay, so now let's move further, guys. So as I already told you earlier, that after development or before deployment, there is very important stage comes into the picture, and that stage is testing. As you can see, it's a very important stage, and if we are doing the testing, it could, if you are not doing the testing, it could cause us a lot of problems. See, so the reason for testing, the first reason I would say that once you develop your application, you are developing in your machine, correct? But now the same machine, same code which you have deployed in server, that application is going to be used by multiple users, correct? One user might be using the laptop screen, another user might be using a small laptop screen, one user might be using different browser version, one user might be using Firefox, one user might be using Safari, one user might be using mobile screen, correct? So as a tester, so but you are developing only one code, right? You have developed some of the code which was working in your machine according to your browser configurations, according to your browser version, right? According to your browser screens, correct? But when it comes to the real scenarios, that website can be accessed from very different scenarios. So before deploying your code to productions, we need to test all those scenarios, whatever we did, right? See, this was the first scenario. This is the first reason why we should testing. The second reason I would say, which I have also seen, once we are developing any applications, we just think some of the scenarios, right? Like for username and password, we can say like username. Some user could only be provide username as abcd at gmail.com. Only this many letters they would be allowing. But in real time, might be some users could provide some empty strings there. Might be some users are providing some scripts there which could delete a database, right? All those things users can do. We cannot, like as a developer, we only had limited thoughts, right, in our mind. We cannot while writing our code, we cannot cover all the scenarios. So testing helps us there also. So with the help of testing, we do two type of testing, positive and negative. In the positive testings, we are providing the correct scenarios, like the correct data we are providing, and the correct output should come to us, right? But we also do the negative type of testing, where we provide wrong type of data. And now in the wrong type of data, your server should be throwing the errors properly. All the errors should come. Correct. So that's why testing also plays the main role, right? As you can see there, the second line, as they are saying, no enterprise level application is ever deployed without testing, whether manual or automated. So every applications which they are doing, they have to go with these phases, manual or automated testing. If we talk about the manual testing, so we run the application, we provide some input manually, and then check the output for that. If the output is correct, the output which we are expecting, that output is coming, we are saying yes, looks good. But in the case of automated testing, we write some code to do the same step. Like you remember through the a postman, we were trying to call each APIs, we were trying to pass these data. So we can say that was the manual testing which we are doing every time. Correct? But rather than that, we can write some code to do automatic all those things. So that type of testing is called automated testing. So guys, today's class, it just try to understand things. Okay, it's not like you are going to use it many places. It just you should be knowing the terms, and when somebody wants to talk to you, you could talk about it. Okay, that's what we are going to do it today. Apart from tester, will developer also do testing? Yes, Hariharan. So in some of the scenarios, you have to write the unit test cases for your code. So yes, you have to. You do not need to write everything. Like integration testing is there, regression testing is there, performance testing is there. You do not need to do everything. That's why for those scenarios, testers mostly do the things. But yes, unit testing sometimes you have to do. Sometimes you have to write the test cases for that. So Nilanjan is saying application should be tested with a customer view perspective, as if customer is using it, and provide wrong data to the app, and the app is showing the error in it. Yes, that's right. That's that type of testing is called UI testing, right? Or the front end testing, where we simply the test the UI pages also. Correct. So yeah, so in automated testing, that's what I was saying. We write some of the code to do the testing. Till now, we are writing the code for our logic, whatever the requirement customer has given. But now we will write some code to test the code which we have written. So that's why we can say one more layer has been added in our code, right? But see, once the user interaction is happening, like your website is deployed in production. Now user interaction is coming. The testing layer does not come into picture. Your user will start from client, which will be browser, connect to your server, the code which we have written till now, that code, and then the request and response will go back. Till now, testing layer will not come. Testing layer will only come once you are going to deploy. Once you are going to deploy your changes, because डिप्लॉय करने से पहले तुम सिर्फ टेस्ट करना चाह रहे हो कि तुमने जो भी कोड लिखा है वो जो तुम्हारे एक्सपेक्टेशंस हो मिल रहा है कि नहीं मिल रहा है. तुम्हारी एक्सपेक्टेशंस थी कि प्रोडक्ट एपीआई हमको प्रोडक्ट का डेटा एरे में प्रोवाइड करे, राइट? दैट वाज योर that the once we call the product API with the tokens, so we should get the product data, right? If that data exists in database, that's it's your expectation, and that's what you are going to test. So that's what we are going to test before deployment. So that's why testing is very necessary. And yeah, see, one more reason I got. See, what happened in real time. Actually, it happens with me also. I will tell you one example. What happened with me once. Is it breaking for everyone? Let me refresh it. Okay, let me refresh it. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, great. Great. So yeah, so I was just sharing one experience. What happened if we do not have testing, then what could be happen? See, क्या हुआ एक बार कि I was working in I was working with one application that was deployed to production. Somebody has already created. I joined in middle. Like that project had started 2 months ago, and that project is already in live. Customers are using that project, right? Now they have told me there is small bug has come. There is small issues has come, like when somebody is uploading, like that application was uploading files. So when somebody is uploading like PNG and JPG file, it's working properly. But in some scenarios, when somebody is uploading some other format rather than PNG and JPG, our code is not working. Our code is failing. So can you just go and fix this bug? So I told, okay, I will take this. I will take this ticket and I will start working on it. So I just started working on it, and I just added the new coding. I just added the new logic for also accept other formats other than PNG and JPG. Correct. I just written the code for that. I tested it through Postman also, that API that was working. But what happened? And then I told, now it's working, sir. Now I have done. So can we move it to the production? Okay. So he told, just think about if testing is not there. I'm telling that scenario. If testing is not there, he told. So if testing is not there, we write the code, we test it in our scenario, and then we are just simply deploying it to the production. So the live users can also use it. Correct. So if testing is not there, then I did. But what happened, I made the new change is this feature, but somehow I break the other scenarios. I made this change. Now the new feature is working, but somehow I did something. Due to that, the older feature has now stopped working. Now it is able to upload the PNG, but in other format, but it's not able to upload now JPG. Just because of a small if condition, just because of and or in if condition, I just missed it. Because while testing in local, I was just simply testing my logic. Apart from JPG or PNG, it should upload other format, but I have not tested the PNG and JPG format. And I told them it's working, sir. Now we can deploy it to the production. So that's why guys, we should have the code, we should have the testing code in our folders so we can test the older features, whichever is working till now. Like I added the new feature in the code, that new feature should work, but the previous things which are already working, those should not be broken. So that's one another benefit or another reason to have the test cases. Because see, once you have already deployed 50 APIs, and now you are making some changes, you are not going to test every 50 APIs again and again. Will you do that? Is it like looks it does it looks logical to you? You will not think like, यार ऐसा कुछ होता कि मैं बस एक क्लिक करता हूं अपने आप सब पुरानी चीजें टेस्ट हो जाती. You will say that, right? Tell me in the comment. Will you guys say that? Yes, that's what we say, right? There should be something. So we should just simply run the command and everything, whatever we have developed till now, or whatever the previous team has developed, should be automatically tested. And our new code should also be tested. So that's the reason, guys, we should always write the test code, test scenarios for our application. That's why testing is very important, the stage in any of the e-commerce applications. If you're not doing and testing for your code, then definitely you are making some mistake. In later stage, your website is not going to work properly. Definitely. That's why they are written. That's why they are written here. No enterprise level application is ever deployed without testing. You know that these teams, like there are some companies who are working fully on the testing only. Like I remember one of the company in metal who was working fully on the testing only, just for making your code safe and secure. So you should not be doing the small mistakes. If not, it will double. Yes, it will definitely double and triple our work. And if like the right now you are just talking about work, it also loses your money, guys. It will also cost once your application is in production without testing, and there is small bug. Like if you talk about the payment application, like the Google Pay, if Google Pay is having a small bug in their application and they deployed and you guys are using it, so it could lose your money also, right? So that's why it will not just double our work, it will lose the money also, it will lose the trust. So that's why, guys, like once somebody has lost their money in Google Pay, will you guys use the Google Pay again? No, right? Now they are losing their trust, they are losing their customers, everything. So that's why, guys, after development, testing is very important step. That's why a lot of companies spend good amount of money in testing also. And that's why the unit test developer has started writing. Okay, I will tell you one more fact. The Angular framework in 2000, I don't know which year, 2010 or yeah, near to that. Angular framework has come. One tester has written that in Google. One tester has written that framework, Angular framework. Till now, we are using that Angular framework. One tester has written that framework, and that framework got very famous. Why? Because he has the mentality that while we are writing any code, it's that code should be tested before. That code should be written in a way so it could easily tested. That's why Angular framework is very famous. You guys can read about it. The Angular framework. Somebody has told me also, and so I was also surprised. One tester has written the Angular framework, which developers are using. In a lot of developers are using that Angular framework, right? So that's why you can say that testing is very important step. Okay, so that's all about the that's all about the testing, guys. So let's move further. Let's see what other things we had in our testing slides. Okay, so now, yeah, so now, guys, let me tell you how the testing generally people do till now, or how we are also doing it. So you see, this is how we are doing right now. First step is we have written the complete code. Now we are doing the testing. Then we are going for the product deployment. So now right now there are like publicly discussions are going on in this stage for testing only. And what are those discussions? I will tell you. So right now, conventionally or most of the time, people do the testing in this scenario. We are also doing, right. We have written whole complete code. Now we are talking about the testing, right? That's what we are also doing, right? But there is one discussion is going on that we should be doing the development first or testing first. You guys will be thinking a little bit weird, but yes, that's what I said. First, what should we do? Do we first do development or do we first do testing? And that's what, guys, it happens. There are like the terms which people are using, which is called TDD, test driven development. Test driven development, where you will first write the test, then first time when you will write the test, that test will fail because you do not have any logic to test, right? You have not developed anything, but you have written the test case. First you have written the test case, now that test will fail. Now you will write the logic for that test. That test will pass. Then now once that test is passed, now you will refactor your code, and now you will make that code for like which should follow the best practice. So that's what called the test driven development. And right now the publicly discussions are happening, and a lot of companies has not started using the TDD. Even testing plays this much important role in each of the applications. Still a lot of companies has not started following the TDD. We will discuss about what is TDD more, but the public discussions are still happening, and those discussions are happening in only between these things. When should we do testing? Should we do testing before development or after development? But conventionally, a lot of time people are doing testing only after developing the feature. इसका एक रीजन ये है कि देखो, हम अगर पहले टेस्टिंग कर रहे हैं, so it will like spend extra time, right? Tester and developer has to collaborate more, and a developer has to write test cases, lot of test cases, right? So service based company will not follow this structure, because service based companies generally they take money, right? They take money from client, and until now client is still not able to understand why why they have to pay for testing different, like. So see, uh, this particular thing has to come only from the management side. The management has to talk to client, and they have to explain the benefit of. First, what should we do? We should first write the test cases, then we should do development. These are uh, the discussions between managers or team lead, and between the client should happen, because client is the one who is going to pay. Because definitely, if we are going to follow the TDD, it is going to extend our deadline. going to extend our timeline of project. Definitely. But yes, it will make your code bug free, 100% bug free, I can say. If you're writing test cases first, then you're writing the development, definitely you will feel more confident because you have already written all the test cases. But yes, on the money wise, while I was working in IBM, that discussion was happening. I should do first test cases and then I should do the coding. But my customer or client was not agreed on paying me that much money. So till now, I also actually had followed only the conventionally way, where I have first I have to write the code and then I have to write the unit test cases for them. So so that's what I am following till now. But yes, still discussions are happening. You can see the challenges with web approach when we do first development and then we go for the testing. So these are the challenges. See, testing is added very late in the cycle of development. So yes, every time you can see in this code or in this course also you have given, I think, more than 15 classes just for development and 2 classes for testing. यही सेम होता है डेवलप रियल डेवलपमेंट में भी. They will give you 20 days for developing any feature and they will only give you 2 to 3 days just for writing all the unit tests. That's what that's what only happen in the testing also. That's what is writing here also. Testing is added very late in the cycle of development. Last minute और जब तुमने देखो, you have already created all the features. If there are some issues and now they have given only 3 days to you. So if there are some issues, it could delay your deployment, right? It could delay your releases if you are going to release these changes. But at the last time you got the issues, now you have to again redevelop it. You have to again test all the scenarios, everything, right? And you can see that's why a lot of time compromise testing happens because of rush of release. जैसे ही तुम्हारा डेवलपमेंट हो गया, अब तुम खुश हो. डेवलपमेंट होने के बाद क्या होता है कि बस अब इसको रिलीज करो, कस्टमर्स को आने दो. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग गाइस. दिस इज हैपन इन रियल applications also. In the startups, if you'll see, once you develop any features, now you have those like hormones automatically runs into your mind. Now let's release it, let's make it to deployment. That's happen in a lot of time. So that's why compromise testings happen. So a lot of time we just write a small 2 to 3 test scenarios. Yes, it's working. Positive testing. We most of the time do positive testing. Whatever we have, whatever I did with the postman, that's what the test cases I will write, and then I will say, yes, sir, it's working. They will move it to the production. So that's why you see earlier, I think some days ago, ITR website also got down. Infosys team has developed it, and I don't know what happened. They have not done the performance testing or what they did. The ITR website went down. Our finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman was also commenting and about that. If you guys have followed the news, it happens like last year or before that, I remember. So Infosys team has developed the ITR website, and that website was just got down, getting stuck. Are you guys not able to see my screen or hear me? Yes, yes. I think it's still lot of things TCS is taking care of it. Let me see. In meanwhile, some questions are there. I saw a webinar on TDD on the YouTube channel called Spring. That was very impressive. Okay, so you can share that webinar Ekta here, so other people can also follow that. I would also like to see that. Actually, my sir wrote a code that tests the feature automatically. Oh, great, Deepak. That's what the automation testing called, Deepak. That's what the automation testing called, where we use Selenium and these type of tools. Well, see, while I was working in Incedo, I was working in one testing tools only, and that tool was Testcraft. Let me share my screen. That tool was Testcraft. You see, Testcraft. Perfecto scriptless automated UI testing tool. So यहाँ पे क्या होता है? They have provided you screens for everything. You just need to like do the drag and drop, and automatically testing script will be written for you. A lot of tools have been created for testing now. Okay. So, but internally, this tool is also using Selenium for writing the automation testing. Okay. So yeah, next see. Uh, so testing can't be compromised. It is must, otherwise a bug would cause a disaster and financial loss to company. Yes, everyone understand these things, but I don't know why people do not invest that much time or money on it. Everyone say that, Niranjan. As an internet startup, I too did testing like that. I too did testing like that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it happens actually. I see. Truly speaking, I also have not written a lot of testing code. Truly speaking, I have written very less testing code, and sometimes I feel irritated also while writing the testing code. Sometimes I also didn't understand what are the terms I need to do for the testing, because when I started my job, see, this is not actually, I would say this is not my fault. This is the fault of the team or manager. They want me to only develop things, and after develop they just this once I tell them I have developed this feature, they want me to simply deploy it, go for the production. So that's why I don't know. I personally feel why they are doing it, and that's why I also didn't do much of the testing. In IBM also, while I was writing things, so I have done very less testing there also. But it's not a good practice in reals. Like as a good developer, it's not a good practice. We should always follow the testing. We should always write the testing. Okay, guys. Is testing language is different from the language in which the code is written? For example, JavaScript. Is testing language is different from the language in which the code is written? For example, JavaScript. Didn't understand your question, Nilanjan. Without testing, I mean testing code language. No, we test. Actually, we do not test language. We test the logic which we have written, right? We test the scenarios which we have written. So if you are writing those scenarios, those code in Java, you will use the Java libraries for testing. In Node.js, we are going to use the Jest. I will show you in some after some time. There are a lot of libraries in Node.js. Actually, before Jest, I think I was using Chai and Mocha. In one project, I got chance to work on Chai and Mocha. In similar way, Jest also has come famous. Jest also become famous. Yes, Jest is a framework. Yes, and in Angular they use the Jasmine for testing code in UI side. So Jasmine is there. A lot of packages are there, but in today but Jest is most popular. I think after React has come, Jest has been most become fast, like most popular become compared to other testing libraries. In PayPal, I'm using very old. I'm not using Chai Mocha. I'm not using Jest. There is one more. Even I'm not getting the name right now. Uh, See, I didn't remember the name of also. So I will look into that. I will let you guys know. In PayPal also we are using, but we are not using a Mocha, Chai, or Jest. These libraries we are not using there. So I hope I answered your question, Nilanjan. Is it written in some form, right? Is it written in some form? Yes. There are some of the ways to write the test scenarios. We'll see those today. Okay. What is Jira? Jira is not related to testing. Jira is just for managing tasks. Once you have a team, 4 or 5 people, you want to assign each task to your teams. That's where you use the Jira. Jira is not for testing. Jira is for managing tasks between teams. Okay. So Ekta has doubt. So let's see his doubt. Okay, so she has forwarded those URLs. Let me open them and let me paste the URLs so you guys can simply access them. Now that you are here, I think these are the frameworks. These are the URLs which Ekta has shared. They are going to work with JavaScript because they have clearly mentioned Spring framework. Similar to Node.js, Spring framework is also there in Java. So these are the URLs which Ekta is sharing. But yeah, you can watch these URLs just to understand about the TDD, not about the coding and all those things. Okay, you guys just can understand the concept how the TDD is working there. Yes, Spring Boot. Yes, both are same. Oh, okay. Yeah, both are same. Sure. Okay, so that was the let's understand, guys. What is now? Let's understand that was the testing which we are doing after development, right? So I told you there is another type of testing which is test-driven development, right? Where we do the testing before starting our development, right? Similar. Take a small example that you are going to write a logic. You are going to create one calculator. Now you know in calculator four methods are there, like addition is there, subtraction is there, multiplication is there, division is there. These four, this you are going to create one calculator application. These four methods user is going to use. So now in test driven development, what you will do, you will create four test files for four test cases for them. First for simple addition, second for subtraction, multiplication, division, and then you will pass some normal numbers on that, and you will call some methods name. Right now, those all test cases will fail because you have not written a real code till now. Now, once you will created those test scenarios, now you will write the addition methods, subtraction method, multiplication method, and division method. And then again, you will call the same test cases, which were earlier failing. Now you have the code there. So now these test cases should pass. Now these test cases are passing. That's what the test driven development is. So first we will write the test, then we will go for the development. So that's what they are saying. You can write a testing code even before you start developing the application, and then write the code to pass all the test cases. And then once the test cases are passing, so there could be some refactoring has to do, some folders you need to create, some good practice you need to follow. Then you can do those things. That's what the refactoring as required. Refactoring means तुमने पहले अपने टेस्ट केस को पास कराया. Once you have to pass your test. Once your test is passing, now you can do the refactoring. Now you can make your code better. You can add some comments, those things. Okay. That's what they are also telling. Developer first write a test case based on the requirement. If you have to building a calculator, then the developer will write test cases that says that 3 plus 5 should be 8, 9 multiplied 2 should be 18. इस तरीके के तुम टेस्ट केस बना लोगे और इसके बाद now you will write that developers write only enough code to pass the test cases. So first you will write enough code just to pass those test cases. And once the test cases are passing, then you will do the refactoring. Then you will make that code a production like code. Okay, that was the TDD is there. So that's what, see, write. So first thing is write test case that would fail. First you will write that test case which are going to fail. Just the requirement, whatever requirement you got, you will just simply write the test cases for them. Once you write the test cases, then you will write the enough code for that, and then you will refactor it. Once the test cases are passing, you will go for refactor. You can watch these videos, you can read a little bit more about TDD, but that's how this works. Okay, so these are the advantages, guys. Let's read about the advantage of TDD. So first advantage is it gives you confidence because now your code which you are writing is coming from test scenarios only, and the test scenario you have created based on the requirement. Based on the requirement, so it will now give you confidence first. Now it will also provide you 100% test coverage. अब coverage का क्या मतलब होता है? Test coverage is like the test cases you should write, we should cover each line of your code. That's what the test coverage is. Test coverage is like in the product.controller.js, you have written 56 lines. So your test, you should write a test in a way so all the lines of that file should be tested properly. So that's what the test coverage is called. But in the TDD case, because you are only writing that much code which could pass your test case, that's why you are already doing 100% test coverage. Because you are writing that much code only which is required to pass this code, pass this test. So that's why 100% test coverage is already happening. But in the traditional approach, that's not possible. That could not be possible because in traditional approach, क्या करोगे तुम, दो चार चीजों को ही सिर्फ टेस्ट करोगे, not whole things. That's the difference here. It helps you write minimal code to achieve the desired outcome. Same things. It helps you make your code cleaner without introducing bugs. Like same thing they are again repeating. It helps you find bugs at the earliest stage with the root cause. Yes, if you will write the test scenarios earlier before writing the development code. So you guys see, there is one more thing. See, once you are following the TDD approach, I think your mind also got shifted, because once you are writing the test cases, you will think different scenarios. Like see, simple take the example of addition method. If you are going to write the test cases for addition method, so then you will think, okay, addition method, okay, it means you need to pass two numbers. Okay, now the first condition for your method should be that two numbers should be only passed. Okay, now second condition, only numbers should be passed, not a string should be passed. Okay, third condition, there should not be any special character people should not pass. The fourth scenario can could in your mind, if somebody is passing only one number, then what should I do? Right, these type of thoughts will automatically comes into your mind, and based on your thought you will create the test cases. And once you will write these test cases, then you will write the logic. Once then you will write the main method, addition method, in that way where you're considering all those scenarios, all those conditions, all those if else conditions you are writing in your code. That's why, guys, TDD approach is nice actually. I would personally feel it's very nice, but if managers and teams are allowing us, they are not allowing us to do that. But definitely, if you're following the test-driven development approach, you will, like, your mindset will broaden. You will think a lot of scenarios before developing any application. So we start with assumptions that what could go wrong with. Yes, that's what the assumptions. And then write the test cases and code accordingly. That's right, Ekta. That's how we go there. That's how we write the test cases. Test cases are always about assumptions. What your team, what the user can do, what a hacker can do, and how your code will be handling those scenarios. If something is wrong is passing to your code, positive scenarios is fine, everyone can create the positive scenarios, but the best code is that which is handling your like unexpected scenarios. Your code should be robust, and only you can make your code robust with the proper testing. Yes. Why they are not allowing the use TTD? Is there any no. There is no demerits. The first demerit, it needs little bit extra time. It needs little bit extra time. अब तुम्हें एपीआई बनाना है हरिहरन, उस एपीआई के बारे में तुम इतना सोचोगे, यू नीड 2 days, राइट, 2 extra days just to think about it, how many test cases needed, how many assumptions needed. Teams, managers and teams does not want that. They want to start working on features. They want to develop these features. I'm not sure, I'm not saying like it's happening everywhere, but I have seen most of the scenario, most of the time it's happening like that only. Once they got the requirement, they will say start developing the feature, we'll see later about the testing. That's what happening. Okay, so but that can be done also using conventional testing. What's the difference? Yes, in that, see, there is, we can do the testing after development also. But yes, in development, after development, you might be, because see, once you created 50 APIs and after that you are going to do the testing, will you remember every scenarios? You have started developing like 1 month ago, and now after 2 months of development, now you are going to do the testing. Now you're going to write the testing for each file. Will you remember every scenario? Just tell me like real answer. Will you remember every scenarios, like in the product category we were not taking these many like user IDs or these many controllers. Will you remember those things? No, right? It's not happened. So that's why first create the test cases for them. While creating the test case, you will write all the scenarios, and then you will do the development for that. So that's why the TDD is much better. Automatically, like, you will think about it, you will feel it more about it. Okay, let's move further, guys. Okay, so now there is one more type of driven development which is called behavior driven development, which is an extension of TDD. When I say extension of TDD, it means internally it does the TDD only, but there is some extra thing they have included with behavior driven development. अब इसमें क्या होता है, इसके और TDD के बीच में डिफरेंस क्या है? When in case of testing after development, it is disadvantage for us, right? Yes, disadvantages for us only, yes. But but yes, manager and team lead and customer has to understand. But after development, we also try to write test scenarios, whatever maximum we remembers. We try to think all the scenarios and we try to write tests for them. It just like I think there is no advantage and disadvantage. It's just about the mentality actually. It's just about the mentality actually here. When you should write testing, you should do testing before. This is public talk. Like this is still public discussion. A lot of people are still find the later stage testing better, and a lot of people are finding before testing also better. So still discussions are happening in public forums. Still but yeah, conventionally mostly people are following the later testing stage. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about guys the BDD and TDD. So TDD is, we already know that TDD is where we first write the test case, then we write then we implement the code, and then we go for the then we refactor it. Correct? That is all about the TDD. And then now what is BDD? So BDD is similar to TDD, but it just add one more step. अब देखो TDD में क्या होता है? In TDD, developer has to do everything. Developer has to think. Once the developer has got the requirement, developer has to think about the. Okay, let's remove that. Let's take one example. Okay. Yes. So let's take example. Difference between TDD and BDD. So yes. So you got one requirement for sign in page. Correct? You got one requirement for sign in page. You have to create one sign in page. Okay. अब उसकी requirement क्या होंगी? In sign in page, you will have two input field. One for username, another one for password. Third would be login. Then there will be some APIs for that. Okay. And once the API and once you will call the API, you will get back the response. That is the requirement you got. Correct. So now once you will go with the TDD approach. So in TDD approach, you will look for like individual method. You will first look for username. You will first look for the password like the password field. Then you will look for the sign in button, right? Then you will look for the API which is calling. You will test all 5 things, right? All 4 to 5 things. But in the BDD generally it's like behavioral. You are just here. You will just test the behavior. Like it will be mostly towards from the perspective of client. It's mostly like you are not going to test like implementation, how the implementation is happening. You are now simply going to check the behavior. This sign in page, how should it behave? So it should be behave like you once you click on once after providing the username and password, once you click on the login button, now we should navigate to next page. So guys, it could be a little bit confusing, but just see in BDD, first try to understand in BDD, we internally do the TDD only. Internally we do the TDD, but just the process is little different here. In BDD, first see in the TDD only developers do everything. Developer has to find out everything and do the implementation. But in BDD, what happened? It start with all three like discussions, all three teams, like all three different stakeholders comes into the picture. First the developers will come, then second the QA will come, and also the team lead also come into those discussions, because team lead is the only one who will tell you the behavior of any of the feature, how this new feature is going to behave. So first they will tell you in English, like simply just they will tell you in English. You will write, okay, we need to create one the username field. We need to create one password field. We should have one login button, and we should have one API. They will just simply tell you in English. You will write it in English, and then the next step would be go for TDD, create a test case for all the things which they are telling. For the username, now you will create the multiple test cases. For the password field, you will create the multiple test cases. Correct? Then for the login button, you will create the multiple test cases. So that's what the difference between the BDD and TDD. BDD is, I personally feel BDD is that's what they're saying. BDD is just an extension on TDD. In TDD, everything is tester or developer is doing, but in BDD, like you are just including one more person who is giving us requirement, and that requirement wherever you are writing, now you will check based on that. You will first, like, while you're writing the test, there will be one whole test file just for testing the login scenario, login behavior, and that login behavior will be login screen. Inside that login screens, we will have multiple tests where we are following the TDD only. But on the top, we are saying now we are testing one behavior, and that behavior is sign-in behavior. Same for once we are testing like all the product APIs, we'll say now we are testing product behavior. Now all the things which we are testing in cart, we will say we are testing now cart behavior. So is it breaking for everyone? Okay. So Vishal is saying in BDD we are checking if the feature we have made working or not, and in TDD we are putting different test cases for a feature. Yes, I think yes, that's right. Because in BDD we are checking our behavior, whatever the requirement we got, we are saying this feature is for it's like whatever the expected behavior is there, is it giving us that behavior or not? Like see, if we talk about the product, like if we talk simply about the product feature, so we are saying the what is the behavior of the product. So all the products should be displayed, all the products should have the price, we should add the product, we should update the product, we should delete the product. These are the behavior for any product, right? So that's what the BDD says that. But internally, now for testing each of these things, you have to follow the TDD only. So that's what the guys difference here. You can see they're also giving one example that if we have one authentication services class with several methods, this class would be used to perform authentication while logging. So हमने एक class बनाई है authentication service, right? And now in this class, we have multiple methods like sign in, get tokens, fetch token. These are the methods are there, right? So now what will happen in TDD? In TDD, we will write test case to check whether all the methods are working as desired or not. हम TDD में सारी चीज चेक करेंगे जितने भी methods उसके अंदर है. Okay, but in BDD we will write test case to check whether the authentication service is working as desired or not. तो मतलब हम top level की चीज चेक कर रहे हैं कि authentication service work कर रही है कि नहीं कर रही है. Correct? So that's what the guys difference. I think there is not much difference, but just think it as like as a top level. Inside that top level, there are multiple things are written. So when we are testing multiple things, we are saying it's TDD, and when we are testing only the top level things, then we are only testing then we can say it's a BDD, where we are testing the behavior driven testing, behavior driven development. Okay, but internally it is using the TDD only. Okay, guys, let's see. There is some more differences between the TDD and BDD. So the first difference is you start the development by writing test cases. So yes, that's right. In TDD, we start the development by writing test cases. But in BDD, we start the development by writing behavior. Same as TDD, but motive is different. अब क्या है कि तुम टीडीडी में क्या है कि तुम यूजर नेम के बारे में लिखना स्टार्ट करोगे, यूजर नेम के मल्टीपल टेस्ट केसेस, बट इन बीडीडी यू विल स्टार्ट राइटिंग अबाउट द login screen. In login screen, user should be able to enter like username, user should be enter the password. These type of behavioral testing. You will try the behavior of user. BDD focus on code behavior. TDD focus on code implementation. That's right. Test cases are written from the developer's perspective. Test cases are written from the end user's perspective. So yes, in the BDD, we are taking care of end users mostly. In the TDD, we are taking care of developers. In developers means we are written multiple methods, right, for doing the one thing. So those methods should be properly tested. That will come under the TDD only. But in the BDD, we will look from the UI perspective, end user perspective. Yes, top list. Yes, correct. Yes, BDD mostly preferred, but internally BDD only has the TDD. So yes, that's right. So like they are saying it's different, but it's just the extension. So when like people has started using BDD, but they are using still they are using TDD only, but it's just in the extended form. अब क्या है कि हम छोटी छोटी चीजें नहीं देख रहे हैं, हम छोटा स्कोप नहीं देख रहे हैं, अब हम बड़े स्कोप में देख रहे हैं चीजें, और बड़े स्कोप के अंदर ऑटोमेटिकली छोटी चीजें तो अपने आप कवर हो जाएंगी. दैट्स व्हाट द माइंडसेट पीपल हैज स्टार्टेड मेकिंग नाउ. Okay, so now once they are saying now we are going to test the behavior. So when people are saying now we are going to test the behavior, automatically all the internally test things has to work properly. Correct. So that's what the BDD is there. Test coverage is 100% as every method is tested. Test coverage may not be 100% as every method may not be tested. It's not right, right? In BDD, if we are internally we are going to follow TDD only, so it should be 100% only. It's better approach when other users will be using your code, such as when creating website or desktop applications. Okay, here there are almost 0% of chance of having bugs. Chance of having bugs are not 0%. Okay. Okay, guys. So now we can go for break, and then we can start our writing some of the test cases. We'll just try to understand some examples of test cases today, and we are going to use the Jest testing framework. Okay. Yeah. Let's go for break. Then we will understood the Jest part. Okay. So now it's 9:27 or 9:28 we can say. So we can come back at 9:43. Okay. Let's come back at 9:43. So 15-minute timer. Let me share my screen. We can go for 15-minute break. Is everyone back? Can you guys hear me? Okay, great. So yes, so as I was saying, in our project for Node.js, we are going to use Jest framework. Jest is very resourceful testing framework with a focus on simplicity. It's maintained by Facebook also. I think for a new person, simplicity doesn't matter, right? Because everyone has to learn from the starting, right? So, but yeah, compared to other frameworks, definitely Jest is more simpler, and it's because it is maintained by Facebook, so continuously they have good backup support. So if there is any issues coming, so they have very good community which is resolving people issues. Okay, and it, yes, that's true. It does not need many steps to install or those things. Very minimum steps to do on. Okay, so guys, today what we will do, we'll create a small new folder. Tomorrow class we'll do the same thing in backend cohort folder, but today we'll create a small new folder and then we'll do the setup there. Okay, let's create a new folder. Everyone also do the same. No, Arad, we didn't miss anything. We didn't miss anything. We are just going to create a new folder. We are going to work on that non-new folder. Okay, so let's create a new folder. So I'm going to create it in desktop. You can see I am in desktop right now. Let me increase the size. Yeah, I am in desktop right now. I will create a new folder, mkdir test, or we can simply write backend test or e-commerce test. Yeah, e-commerce test. Now we can add that folder here. We can add that folder here. Add folder to workspace. Yeah, this one, e-commerce test. Correct. Now new folder is here. Correct, guys. You guys can have you guys also created new folder and included it into the Visual Studio Code? Everyone, please do that quickly. I will add one more folder. I have some examples there, so we can take examples from there directly. But otherwise, already our slides are good, so we do not need to concern about that. So whoever is created folder, do the npm init and press enter every time. Correct? So we have our packet.json there. Please do that also. Please do npm init as we have done till now, right? As we want to create a new project, we do every time these things, right? So once create a folder, so Niranjan, you have to create a new folder and you have to run npm init. Okay, and then after that, let me open the slide here so you guys can see. We will follow this slide. This slide has enough information. Yeah, so now after that, we will copy this line. We'll install Jest as a dep dependency. Okay, so npm install minus save minus dep Jest. So let me provide this command to you guys also. No, new folder. Then a new folder. It's a new project. No, Deepak, that is I have created earlier. I have already some test files there. So if I want to see something, so I can just follow this folder. That's why I've just imported hello test there. Any folder name. I have taken e-commerce test. You can take any folder name. After creating folder, run npm init, initialize our project. Everyone do that. And after that, install just there. For me, it is taking some time. So let's see. Could be some internet problem for me. Already connected to VPN, so VPN is not a problem here. Nope, no problem, Joseph. You just enter there. No need to provide any keywords there. Done? Okay. It's still taking some time for me. So I will wait for some minute. Yeah. Could be the internet problem. But yeah, in meanwhile, everyone do that. Create a new folder, initialize your project, install Jest as a dep dependency. Because testing is only going to happen on on the developer side before deployment. That's why we are installing this package as a dep dependency, not as a original dependency. Yes, after npm init, need to install Jest. Let me see. Okay, yeah, for me also it happens now. So you can see in dep dependencies we have Jest now. Correct? Yeah, it is taking a lot of time for me also. So now after that, guys, in test, you can see in a script we have test. Now you have to provide here, just simply write Jest. Just simply write Jest. In the script, in the same package.json, in the script where we have written test, just remove everything and write the Jest. As you can see here also, in the slide also as they did, Jest. Just write that thing. No problem, I will wait for 1 minute. Like this. In your packet.json, there is one script section. Inside this script section, we have test. So instead of test, just write the Jest there. You can see this line. Please do, everyone. Is it done for everyone? Okay, so now we'll create our first test file. Okay, so let's give a name here, like any name, first dot test dot js. You see, guys, till now we were just simply giving the extension as .js, but right now we are giving the extension as .test.js, just for because like frameworks automatically detect these files wherever we are giving extension as .test.js. Wherever we are giving those extensions, just will read those files. So that's why we are giving the extension as .test.js. So everyone create this file first.test.js. Sunil is getting an error. What is the error? I have pinned it. Let me pin it again. I have pinned it, guys. Okay, sure, sure. So Ekta, we haven't done anything in the package.json. We just added this test jest. Earlier there was something else was written. We just removed that part and just written test here, just here. And we have created first.test.js under the e-commerce test folder in our root. In our root file, we have created the first.test.js. Okay, guys, please do that. Everyone has created this file first.test.js and not in node module folder. No, Joseph, not in node module folder. In the e-commerce test main folder, root folder. So let me see. Some errors are here. Sunil is getting some errors. Let's see his errors. npm install -save -dev jest. Hey, why are you doing it in model folder? I have told you to create a new folder, right? Apart from this project, everyone again hear me clearly. Sunil, you also do not create folder in the same repo. We have to see, am I using anywhere? It's a new folder, e-commerce test. I'm not creating any folder inside the backend cohort. So guys, do not create any folder under the backend cohort. Create a new folder, e-commerce test, and then do the npm init and those things. Okay? Okay, Sunil? Create a new folder outside of that repo which you are working till now. And then do npm init, then do install these packages. Okay? Yes, it's outside. Like, no, there is no relation between these two folders, backend cohort and e-commerce test. Outside, totally outside. Have you stored these folders in untitled folder? No. These folders are in desktop. This is workspace. If you are talking about this untitled workspace, this is workspace, not any folder. Okay, Ankit? Yes, first test.js created, Joseph. Sunil, you need to create a new folder, e-commerce test, not in backend cohort, not in your project, outside, a new folder anywhere in desktop. As you created that backend cohort folder, in similar way, you have to create a new, it's a new project. You're not going to, it's not related. It's not related, Sunil. We are just creating a new folder, new project. Okay. Yeah, then commands you have to run npm init. That's fine, Ankit. That's fine. My script is different. So you can add this line. In a script, you can add this line, Riyaj. You can add test and then just like this, similar way. Let me paste it. You can add this way. Okay, Riyaj? So everyone is done now. Can we move further? Done for Ankit, done for Nilanjan, done for Deep, done for Lekej, done for Joseph, done for Arad. You need to create a new folder, Suraj. You need to do npm init. Then you need to do npm install, jest, which I have pinned it. And then you need to create and you have to create a new folder separate, not in the backend folder. It's a new project, you can understand. Okay. So you create a new project, do npm init, install the package. Okay, so Riaz has one doubt. Let's see his doubt also. Yeah, what is your doubt here, Riaz? You have this test, right? You just need to remove this line and add the just here. Remove this line and add just. Okay, Riaz? Okay, so now let's move further. So, guys, let's see how we write the test. So, first we are going to test our objects. Like if you want to test our objects, so that's how we are going to write. So, first we have to tell our test name. As you can see, our test name is testing the objects, and then there is one function inside it which runs once, which will be running. So here we are just simply declaring one const data there, then assigning some value, and then we are saying we expect this data to equal to these values. That's how we start writing the test. So let's go to the first.test.js and let's write for first of test. So we will write first test in small letters. Oh, these things are automatically coming in my 1 minute. Aha. 1 minute, guys. Yeah, now it is good. And here we have to do testing the objects. Then it will take one function. This is the syntax which we use in jest. It might be changed, little bit change in chai or mocha or in other testing framework. But in jest, that's how we start. We have to provide our test name here. Then what is going to happen inside this test, we are going to write it here. So that's what we were doing. We were taking one object here, const data, and this object has one key. So like we can say ID colon 1. That's what, right? No, 1 comma 1. We can take anything, but it's fine. 1 colon 1. And then later on, we are assigning another key to this. Data dot 2 colon 2. अब हमारे पास data object है, right? So now we need to test. Now this is the testing happening. See, now I am expecting my data dot to be equal to the value which I provided. 1 colon 1, 2 colon 2. I'm expecting my data should have these values. We are only providing these values, but right now we are only providing, but this is not the concern. What you should understand here, how we test the data, how we test the objects. That's how we test the objects. If somebody is providing you objects, how will you test it? So that's how you will test it. Let's run it. You just simply need to run npm run test. npm run test. Okay. So now we are getting some errors. So let's see what is that error. So it is saying serializing to same string. Ah, okay, serializing to same string. So let me see it. Ah, okay. So I think 2 has to be first. Then 1 should be here. Now let's see. Oh, still we are getting error. Oh, okay. So they are expecting is in this way. Got it. Got it. Sorry, guys. They are expecting it in a serialized way. You see how good the Jest framework is. You see how good they are first telling you your test name, testing the objects. Then what is received? This is the received part, and this is the expected part. मतलब हमारा जब फंक्शन या कुछ भी चीज वहां से हमें क्या रिसीव हुआ है और हमें क्या चाहिए था. Like this is the input, this is the output. Correct? So see, because I am getting error, so now Jest is also telling you. I was expecting that 1 should be in the double quotes and 2 should be in the double like this, but somehow I was not getting that. So that's why it was getting giving error to me. Now this time if I run, I'm still getting some errors. So what is this? Okay, so Now this is the order part. 1 colon comma 2. You see? Okay, what is it now? Oh, 2B is checking too much actually. It is also checking for spaces now. See? It is also checking for spaces. Very weird. Okay, what is it now? Serialize to the same string. Okay. I am providing the same string only. Let me copy paste it. Okay. Let's see. This time it will pass or not. See, this still getting error. What is it? Data dot two is equal to 2. Okay, let's see. Let's remove this thing. We will check the another thing. It is little complex. So let's see. We will check value. Data dot to be 2. I think this should work. Yeah, see, now our test is passing. I think something is happening when we are trying to do the object, whole object when we are trying to check. So something serializable things are happening. But yeah, it's good, right? You guys can see the when the things are failing, you guys can see that is telling us the expected value also and the what we are getting here. Correct? Let's see if I make it 3, which is not the true case. Let's see what will happen. You see, we got the error. We are saying expected is received, expected at 3, but we received 2 because data dot 2 is 2, but we are trying to expect it 3. So that's why we got the error. Okay, guys, let me know if you guys have any doubt. E command is npm and oh, so when I went into mute, is it just happened now or okay? Okay. Sorry guys for that. Okay, so yeah, thank you. So yeah, see, guys, so the thing which you need to remember, which is this thing, expect dot to be. So somebody has given you object and you want to test that object. Right now that to be was not properly working with the whole object. I'm not sure why. Some serialization is happening, but you can see as this is how everywhere we will do. We will expect something and we will provide those values here. That's how this is the important thing which you guys have to remember. So we are expecting data dot 2, which is 2, which is the value is 2, and we are saying it should be 3, which is wrong. So our test case should fail. That's why it is failing here. Okay, let's write another test case. And this time we'll do, let's see, according to them. Yeah, let's time we'll test the sum method. Okay, so let's create a small sum method. Function sum, it will expect two things and return a plus b, right? So let's test this method. Test sum method. Test sum method. Right? Now what will happen? We'll simply call expect and we'll call the sum method. We'll pass some number 2 comma 3 and we'll say dot to be 5, right? Because we are expecting that some method, this method should return us 5. So let's see, is it happening or not? Our tests are passing or not? Let me correct this one also. See, both of test cases are passing. Testing the object, test some method. Let's now make some mistake. Rather than 5, let's give her 6. Let's see is this happening or not. No, right? See, the first one got passed, that's why green is coming. But second one got failed, we are getting cross there. So it is saying expected receipt to be expected. Right now we were expecting 6. Sorry, we were expecting 6. Yes, this one is the expected part, and we received 5 with this method. Okay, guys. So let me see in the chat if you guys have any doubt on that. Two equal. Yeah, I think, see, we can always open the just uh, like documentation and check for that. No problem. We can check here. So Sarad is saying for two objects. So we can simply search just two objects or two equal. We can simply check like this. Using matcher. Yeah, I think two equal. Yeah, that's right. The same example is there. We can copy the same example. That's right. We can compare this thing. We can see data is there, data 2 is there. Let's see. It is right now it is working or not. Yeah, first one is working now. Thank you, Sarath, for telling us. So, guys, that's why these expect has lot of method. Not to be, you can see, not to be also can work here. Here we can write like not to be 6. Now you will see both scenario will pass because we are saying for the result of this should not be 6. So this will now both scenarios will pass. See, both tests has been passed. So there are a lot of methods, guys, and you do not need to remember. You can always come to these documentation. You can see to be null, to be undefined. If you want to check the null, we can check to be null, to be truthy, to be falsy, to be defined, to be undefined. These all things we can check, right? So that's what in the slides also you will see we were doing the same things. You can see we are checking the null also. We can check that, no problem. Let's create another test case in the same file. Test null. So there are methods. Let's create a one variable. Let a is equal to null. If you want to test it, expect a to be null, right? Let me check the method. Yeah, to be null. Guys, you do not need to remember. You just need to know that these things exist. So next time, if somebody got you got the scenarios like these, you can simply use them. You can see test null is working. In similar way, undefined is also there. If I make it undefined, to be undefined will be there. To be undefined. Let me check. Yeah, to be undefined. You see? Now if I make it 4, this test will fail because now it is not undefined. Now the last test will fail. You see? Received 4 and we were expecting undefined. Received 4, we were expecting undefined. Okay, guys. So similar way, let me see first in the chat if you guys have any doubt. Sir, what is run command? I already told you that run command. It is nice that it easily shows the error in a very informative way so that error is easily understandable. Yes, Nilanjan. That's nice actually, yeah. Paste here. Which thing you want to paste here? Which thing you want me to paste here, Joseph? It's already in slide, by the way. But if you want me to paste this code, that's fine. I can do that also. I have pasted the things which we have done. Okay. So if somebody wants to test it, I can wait for 1 minute. Let's paste this thing and test in it's happening, it's working in your also or not. You just need to run npm run test. It's working for you, Nilanjan? Testing, okay. Please do that. Everyone, please do that. These are very easy things. Nitesh is facing error. Nitesh, first check the errors properly. What is the error you are getting? Try to understand that error, Nitesh. Is it the jest is giving you error or some npm error is coming? If npm error is coming, so jest is giving error. For which test? Testing the object, test some method, or test null? For which method? Yes. If you will like read about the jest, it provides a lot of information. We can create a report also on all the test cases which we are going to write. A lot of things are there. So Nitesh, what error you are getting? Like which for which object? Okay, Nitesh has shared the screen, share the doubts. Let's see. E-commerce test at test chest. Okay, so you have installed Jest, right? What is happening in your scenario? You are running this command, right? npm run test, and you are getting this error. Hmm. Weird. Have you created this file first.test.js on the root folder with this? Hmm. Still, you are getting this error. Huh? What could be the next thing we can check here? You can check that just exists here in node modules or not. Yeah, like this. Can you check that just exists there or not? Suraj also has doubt. Let's see his doubt. Test undefined. Suraj, your file name is first.js. Your file name should be first.test.js. Okay. Exist. Hmm. Hmm. In depth dependencies, which version you have installed? Show me that also, Nitish. Just paste it here, or just write the version name of this. Sure, sir. So A is equal to undefined. Our test is passing now. Okay. Nitish, give me the version of jest which is here in packet.json. Okay. Meanwhile, okay. Yes, pasting it here. So just has oh, file name should be first.test.js, not first underscore test. That is one problem it is for you. Okay. And yeah, I think that's the first problem. I told you, right, to go for first dot test.js, not underscore. Try with that. Also, it has a snapshot. What is the use? A snapshot, it will like, I remember it works on front end. So in Jest also the same library uses in front end also. So in front end, whatever the state between two time frame, it just take the It just take the time, like it just take the snapshot for that time. Like uh, something is rendering in your UI screen, correct? So you have just taken the snapshot of that time frame. So it will just simply take all the informations on a screenshot of that time frame. That's what the snapshot I remember. In UI, it justly I have seen the snapshot feature. npm run test. Yes, any file name dot test dot js. Still same error. Okay. Send me the again screenshot, Nitish. Same structure and the command which you are running. Because the screenshot you said, I was not able to see the command which you were running. Ankit also has doubt. Let's see his doubt. So first test.js is there. What is this, Ankit? Why are you running npm run test with from the node new folder? Your folder is e-commerce test, and you are running it. See, error is you can read right. It is saying it's not able to find the packet.json. It means you're not in the right folder. Okay, so correct that thing first, then we will see further. So Nitesh has shared the screenshot. Let's see. So he has corrected the file name now. He is in the e-commerce underscore test folder. That is good. And then he ran npm run start. Global, this is not defined. Hmm. This is coming from hmm. E-commerce test has two packet.json, which is weird. Okay. Not sure. I think we have to search this error, why this error is coming. Because this is coming from node modules. So looks like some dependencies are failing for you, Nitesh. So do you have you created this revision test folder also? Because it looks like okay, those are separate folder. Okay, not in the same one. It should work according to me, but yeah, not sure what's happening. So you could do one more thing. You could install again. Okay, you could install again just and then check it. Okay. Okay, Nitish, you can install again just then try it again. Let's see others doubt. Notice. Oh, you have not corrected the. Okay, yes. Whatever the step they are telling in the chat, you have to do that, Suraj. Nilanjan, whatever Nilanjan is saying, yeah, please do that. All three. All three, Ankit. So let's see. Joseph has one error. So first dot test dot js is there, and just failed to parse the file. This happened when your code is dependencies use non-standard JavaScript syntax. or when just is not configured to support some syntax. What syntax you have used, which is not support in your case? You're not using any wrong syntax here. Not to be test null. Hmm. Unexpected token. Uh, is it at the end of line something is added there, or because from the line number 1 to 16 everything looks good to me? Is it at the end of something you have added something? Because somehow it is getting some unexpected token from this file. Okay, Joseph. So somehow like Jest is not able to read your file properly. That's what happening. Yeah. So please check if everything is correct or not. Like in the first test.js, till here it should be here, and after there should not be anything. Okay. Ankit has a doubt. Let's see his doubt also. Yeah. What is doubt here, Ankit? What is the doubt there, Ankit? Oh, okay. You can see, right? A is equal to 4 you provided. It's not undefined, right? Hey, do not copy paste. Read the things, what is happening here. You see, I provided now undefined. That's why all three are passing. You have to provide now A is equal to A is equal to undefined, then it will pass for you. Okay, Ankit? Yeah. Okay, guys. So let's move further now. Let's see what are the new other methods they are providing. So you can see here, to be truthy is also there. If any value exists, it will just return true to us. Like it will be passed. Same for B also. Same for to be falsy is also there. C is undefined, then it will give us to be falsy. Okay. Let's move further. Like these type of methods are also there. To be greater than, to be. Let me uh, let me write these things quickly, or somehow I can provide you so you guys can test it. 1 minute, huh? Let me provide these things. Let me copy these things and let me provide it to you. You guys can test it in your system. 1 minute, guys. Yeah. You guys can copy this one. The greater than 3 and greater than or equal. Just test. Everyone is, let's read, first read what is happening, and then think about which test should be passed or which test should be failed. And then see according to that, is it happening or not? Okay? Yeah. I have provided these two. Let me copy paste these in mine also. But yeah, in meanwhile, you guys can do that. Let me explain also. So let's explain this one. Now, what we are going to do here, we are going to do again undefined one. So right now, I'm just rather than providing to be undefined, here I'm providing to be defined also. So now this case should pass. This test case should pass because n is defined. and it's not undefined, then that's why this case should pass. Now test for to be truthy and to be falsy. So A is equal to 7, yes, it should pass. B is equal to true, it should false. C is undefined, it will consider it as a false, so it should be to be falsy. So right now, all the test case should be passed for me. Yeah, you can see all 5 has been passed. You can see here testing and to be truthy and to be falsy has also been passed. Let's check this one also. 2 plus 2, 1. So what is happening here? Const value 2 plus 2. Value to be greater than 3. Yes, it is greater than 3. To be greater than or equal to 3.5. So it is greater than 3.5. It should pass. To be less than 5. Yes, it will pass. To be less than or yes, it will pass. To be 4 to equal 4. Yes, all things will be passed here. Yeah, 2 plus 2. Right? How many package install? It's just one package install. npm install minus just only. Just you have to install. Yeah, I think it's an internet problem. Then, so sir, from above code, I have created second file and I run npm run test. This is automatically taking two files. Earlier, first test and testing the cross. It is awesome feature. Yes, all the test.js files will be taken now. So Suraj is giving some error to us. So let's see. You do not need to install. You do not need to install body parser, .env, express. You just need to install just. Okay. But it looks like you are using some proxy. So that's why just is not installing. Suraj, you do not need to install these all these packages. You just need to install just, but it looks like you are behind some proxy or some network connectivity problem is there. It's not able to install just. Yeah. So just is having some problem. You have to retry it. It's some internet problem. But yeah, you do not need to install other packages. So first, so Deepak, first you have to understand how the different thing we can test, how we can test objects. If any of the function, if any of your function is returning object, then how will you test that object? If any of the object variable, object keys are going to return undefined, how will you test that those values? So that's why we are doing these things. Okay. Let's move further now. So we have done these things, testing number, testing string is also there. So for not to match, to match, these methods are there. Okay, let me see if my screen is shared or not. Yeah, it's shared. So you can see guys here, for matching or not matching, we have the similar methods, right? Expect team dot no to match, and same for this. Let's move further. Testing arrays and iterable. So for arrays also, let's create. I will create this example. So testing arrays. Now from any like from the product API, you will get the array, right? So now you want to check that array contain the values or not. So you will use this like this way. That's why we are doing these things right today. We're doing this practice, so you should be understand how we test things. Now we can say here, let's create an array outside. Const animals, and we can write some animals here. Cat, dog. Yeah. Let's now expect animals who contains cat. Let me check. Is it the same syntax? Yeah, to contain, not contains. Contain. Let me check. Is it working? Yeah, testing array is also working. And then another one is also similar to contain. So let me paste this for you guys. Yeah. Let's move further. Yeah, so now we will look for the errors part. If you want to check that error exists or not. So that's what is happening here. So let's create one function which would be throwing error. Then we will simply check that is it throwing error? Is it throwing error? So what error it is throwing? We can also check the message as well. You can see we can check the message as well. So let's see. Let's create one function name as compile error. And this function is somehow throwing error. We can say throw its error, right? We can take okay new error also, no problem. The JavaScript error constructor. Yeah, let's create a method test for it. Testing errors. So expect. Let's call this function because before without calling we cannot get the error, right? So first we have to call compile error, and then we can say dot to throw. Right, that was the method only. Let me check. Yeah, dot to throw. So it is saying that it should throw some error. This function should throw some error. Correct. So let's see. Is it passing or we are getting any error? Yes, it is throwing error. We can now check the message also. In same message here. If we change the message, if we add R double R, let's see. It is throwing error or not. Test should throw error. You can see test has thrown the error. Hey, it is this is the expected one, this is the received one. So that's how it works for error scenarios also. Let's correct this throw. Now it is running. Let me provide this one to you also. So in the npm run test here, if you want to run one file, you have to provide here that file name, just file name .js. The same like if I only want to run test first dot test.js, that's how we will write. Only one file will be running here. Okay, Engine? So guys, try this thing also. Then we will move into the next part, which is so okay. These are the results they are showing. You can see all are in green. How they are looking. Now we are going to look for other thing where we are going to look where we are going to test some other stuff. Okay. So we'll create a new file now. Async.test.js. Okay. We have created a new file. So now guys, let's talk about some scenarios. What happens sometime, like before running any test, you want to do some setup. Why did not I run showing that this is not recognized? No, no, you do not need to run just. You need to provide just in packet.json where you are writing just. You have to run right there just first.test.js and then you have to run npm run just only. Why it did not throw for line 54? Line 54. Okay. Yeah. So it is throwing error. That's why our test is passing. We are expecting it should throw error. So that's why it has thrown. Our test is passing. Okay, Arad? We were expecting it should throw error. That's what the expectations are here. Our expectations is this function, when we'll call this function, it will throw error. It does that. That's why our test is passing. Okay, Raj? But no message. So we are not consoling it out, right? We are not like showing this thing. We are just doing the testing part. So testing is just simply happening internally. Testing is internally, testing framework is internally just checking things. It is not displaying those messages to her or throwing error. This is happening in under expect, right? If I call the compile error here, then it will throw the error. Okay? This is happening under the expectation, under the expectations. So that's why it does not throw the error. That's why it doesn't show the message. Test null is giving error. Test null. So yeah, definitely, you have the a value there. That was happening with somebody else also, Ankit. That was same thing happening was there also. You might be providing some value here. In to throw, they provided JDK without to match. Yes, to throw might be providing the matching feature also. So yes, you can test this thing. So to throw might be providing the matching feature also. I think it's already doing it, right? You can see this, it is matching this thing or this part also. You are using the wrong JDK. So yes, it is already doing internally match also. Yeah. Nilanjan has one doubt, so let's see his doubt also. Nilanjan, you have to write just first dot test dot js, not first test.test.js. You have to write first just, right? You are passing this name in just only. So first write just, then first space first dot test dot js. Okay, then it will run. I will show you. See, I'm going to run only run now async test.js. So what I will do, just async test.js. Everyone, we only want to run this file async.test.js. That's how we'll do that. Just that file name .test.js. So everyone, please do that. Okay. Okay, sure. So we are going to run our async.test.js, Joseph. So that's why we provided just async.test.js, because we just want to run async test.js. If you will not provide async test.js, it will run both tests, it will run both files, and from both files all tests will run. But here we only want to run the async.test.js. That's why we did just async.js. Okay, great. Here you are not providing undefined and you are checking to be undefined. That's why that error is coming, I think. Otherwise, if that's not the scenario, Joseph, you need to share your screenshot. Then we can understand. In code number 54. In 54, so why the this throw new error is not coming? Because expect is internally handling that thing. Expect is only give the purpose of expect is here to throw the error, and we are simply handling those things. We can see there. So that's why expect is internally calling this method. It is not calling and displaying it here to us. Okay. How to comment in .json file? In .json file, yeah, comment are not permitted. But yeah, this way only you can do the comment. Okay. There would be they where I need to check this comment in JSON. Comment in JSON file. I think hash is there, double slash is there. Let's see hash. Hash is not working here. Okay, so they are giving one reason because JSON always contain the data. So that's why, because we can comment the code part where we are writing the logics, but they are saying JSON is only the data part. That's why we cannot comment that part. We can provide some of the keys or some of the values there, which could be ignored by apps that uses the JSON data. So that could be the reason why the JSON files are ignoring these things. Okay, because in the JSON files we only keep the data, they are saying, and that data file does not need any comment. If you want to ignore the data, you can just provide some of the keys in some ways so your app can neglect it. So that's why it does not have it. No, if it is JavaScript file, I think you can do it, right? In the JavaScript file, you see, I can comment, right? JavaScript file, we can comment, right? It's just the .json files. Okay, Parag? So let's move further in our testing exception. So this one already we have taken. Yes. Okay. So yeah, so that's what I was going to tell you, that there are some scenarios where we need to run some of the things before running our test, right? Before running our test, before starting our test, we need to run some of the things like before making connection to models, we need to start our database servers, right? Before starting making to connection to database, we have to make our connection to database. In similar ways, like sometime what happened, once we connected with models, we need to delete our connections, right? So that's why the Jest frameworks has provides us some of the like hooks which you could provide, which you can add in your code, like before running any test, or before running each test, or before running any test, after running each test, after running all tests. So that's why there are four methods which they have provided to us: before each test, after each test, before all test, after all test. So we will write them in async.test.js. Okay, let's first write before each. So this line, this part of code will run for this part of code will run before each test. Before each test, this part of line will run. So if I do console.log before each test, I will copy paste very quickly because we need to create the four method in similar way, right? And we will provide after each. This method will run after each test. After each test. Then there is before all. This will method will run before all test. Then after all. Before all and then after all. Yes. This function will run after all test. So let's create a test now. So test. My visual editor test is not coming properly. I need to do some of the need to do some magic there to print the test properly. See, like this. Now I can write the test. Test. So let's create a to be truthy, something like that. To be truthy. Let's create one test quickly, and we can check expect. 4 to be truthy. This is our first test. Let's create another one. To be defined. Expect 4 to be defined. Right? Now, what is our expectations? This particular hook before each and after each, they should run after each test, right? Before each test and after each test. And these before all and after all, these should run only one time. Before all test and after all test. And these should run two times. Let's see it. Let's run npm run test. npm run test. Now we can see. So first before all test, before all, before starting our test, this hook has run. Then before each test, before starting our test, before each has run. Then after each test, so once this test is completed, this one, जैसे ये टेस्ट कंप्लीट हुआ हमारा आफ्टर ईच टेस्ट, देन अगेन बिफोर ईच टेस्ट, इस टेस्ट के स्टार्ट होने से पहले, and then after each test, then after all test. Okay, one more thing I will do. I will provide console here, so that will make more sense. I will write truthy. I will write here defined. Yeah, this will give us more better picture to us. Okay, guys. So let's see. So before all test, सबसे पहले before all, then before each, फिर इसके बाद ट्रुथी हमारा टेस्ट रन हुआ, फिर टेस्ट खत्म हुआ तो आफ्टर ईच टेस्ट, जैसे ही दूसरा टेस्ट स्टार्ट होने वाला था उससे पहले बिफोर ईच टेस्ट, फिर टेस्ट रन हुआ डिफाइन, देन आफ्टर ईच टेस्ट, देन आफ्टर ऑल टेस्ट. So that's how that's what, guys, sometimes we need these type of feature where we might need to do some configuration before doing some of the before running our test. So that's what we need to do these things. Okay. Guys, in some scenarios we might need to run some of the things before running our test. Like in the case of model, if we check in our project scenarios, so before running any models or before making any database connection, before making any database queries, we should be starting our database server, right? So that's what, before running any test, we want to do some of the steps. So these are the hooks which Jest has provided, which will run before your test or after your test. So once your test will start, these two hooks will be running before all, before each. So before all test, like there are two tests. So before all test, this hook will run. सबसे पहले यही हुक रन होगा बिफोर ऑल. इसके बाद जैसे ही तुम्हारा एक टेस्ट रन होने वाला होगा, इससे पहले बिफोर ईच रन होगा. ओके, आफ्टर बिफोर ईच तुम्हारा टेस्ट रन हुआ, इसके बाद आफ्टर ईच ऑल्सो इज देयर. तो तुम्हारा टेस्ट जैसे ही खत्म होगा, आफ्टर ईच उसके बाद रन होगा. नाउ अगेन बिफोर ईच, क्योंकि दूसरा टेस्ट रन होने वाला है, इससे पहले जो चीजें रन होनी है, बिफोर ईच इज देयर. अगेन आफ्टर ईच इज देयर. जैसे ही टेस्ट खत्म होगा, आफ्टर ईच विल रन, एंड एट द एंड आफ्टर ऑल, बिकॉज सारे टेस्ट खत्म हो चुके हैं, अब ये आफ्टर ऑल रन. ओके. Okay, guys, understood? Sure, Deepak. This is my packet.json file. I just added async test.js there. Just running one file, async.test.js. Okay, guys, are we good with that? Which part, Joseph? So see, Joseph, क्या होता है to be truthy? To be truthy is a method which to be truthy is a method. So 4 is there, it means it's true. If it's undefined, it will give us error. Undefined will be considered as a false. To be truthy, it means 4 is there. 4 will be considered as true. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what is next here. Okay, so the next part is to test our callback. Okay, so the next thing is to test our callback. So let's create one callback and then test it. Okay, in the same file, in the same file, or let's create a new file. Callback.test.js. Let's go into the sync. Let's change it to callback.test.js. Okay, so let's create one method function or give it a name as fetch. They're giving any name, yeah, fetch data, which uh, which take one callback. Okay, this callback will be called after 2 seconds, we can say, right? This callback is called. You can say it's going to be after 2 seconds. Okay, let's see if I'm passing the same thing here or not. Yeah, and the from callback is returning this also. So we can return anything. Testing callback. Correct. So we have created one method which is going to call, which is like after 2 seconds, which is going to call back whatever method we are going to provide. Okay, that's what we did here. We are going to test our callback. So now let's see. They have provided us two ways to check it. This is the first way, and they are saying this is not the proper way because once we run our like test case, so it runs synchronously. It runs synchronously. So now, like first this line will be running, then this line will be running. But in the case of here, you can see they are passing this callback here, which is the data. You can see where they are calling fetch data and they are passing the callback which they have created. Correct? Okay, let me create it. Then it will make more sense. Let's create one test where we are going to test the. Okay, let me copy it from the test here. Otherwise, always this thing will happen with me. Yeah, let's create the one test here. We can write test callback. Guys, let's see. So let's first create one callback here. So once function callback, which we will pass in fetch data, क्योंकि वही कॉल होना है ना इतनी देर बाद. Okay, so let's pass it. And here, because this callback will also have one variable, which will be this data. So we can check here, is this data expect data dot to be dot to be testing callback, right? That's what we are returning from here. और अब हम क्या करेंगे, fetch data को कॉल करेंगे, fetch data, और हम अपना callback पास करेंगे. Correct? That's how only callbacks work. If this is asking for one callback, we need to pass our own callback, and in this callback we are just simply expecting it. But one problem is there, because inside the test this all runs on synchronously. So once it is completed the fetch data, but fetch data is making one asynchronous call, so it will not wait for 2 seconds. And let's see, I think this will fail. This will definitely fail. If I run this thing, you can see this is passing, by the way, because which is coming like after 2 seconds, this data is coming to us. But let's see in the down what they are saying, just did not exit 1 second after the test run has completed. This usually means there are asynchronous operations that were not stopped in your test. Consider running just with minor detect open handlers. So that's what they are saying, that there are some asynchronous operation is happening and your test should not be like completed at the same time when we call the fetch data. Your test only should be running when that asynchronous call has been completed properly. Then only your test should be completed. So that's why, guys, in the jest they provide one more variable with the test method, which is called done variable. You can see here in the done variable. So let if we add done, and now once you will add that done in test, so now what will test expect? Jab tak when till now when you will call the done, it will not like go out of this test. It will wait for done to be called. So that's why you can see here, like once we check this data, we are calling the done here. So let's do that. Let's quickly do that. That's what we did. Let's do that. They're also saying, let's take it in a try catch, because this is the asynchronous call. There could be possibility of errors also. So done error. Now done it simple without any error. So now you will see, I will not see that warning. If I run this test, now it is waiting for 2 seconds. It has waited for 2 seconds and then it has checked the values. And now we are not getting that warning. So that's why the earlier way, whenever you are going to test any asynchronous operations, or with the when you're using callback, at that time done will definitely help you. But if you're using any promise, I think there you do not need it, because in the promises we always have dot then there, dot then and dot catch. You see, in the promises we always have dot then dot catch. So inside dot then only you will test these things. So that's why in the promises that will not happen. So if test for fail, uh, after all will not be executed. No, it will. It should be executed, I think. If test fail, after all should be executed. But yes, we need to check this thing. Will it happen or not? We need to check this thing. Might be. I need to check this thing, guys. So let's see. In the after all, I think he has asked a very nice question. So let's see if this test is failing. Let's give it undefined here. Let's see after like what is the things which we are calling. Let's see. So we pass async here. Let's see. No, it's still called. See, after all test, it's still that hook calls. Okay, like it. So guys, I think we'll stop today here, and I want you guys to go into the slides and look for these examples which they have provided. Okay, one by one, just test like similar way as they have written in the slide. Just try to copy paste and try to understand those things. In tomorrow class, we will continue from here, and then we'll go for our application testing also. Okay. So in async.test, Joseph, we are doing four things: before each, after each, before all, after all. The meaning of these four hooks are that these hooks will only run, these hooks will run before each test, after each test, before all test, after all test. That's the meaning of these hooks. That's what I was trying to explain you here. I simply created two tests. These two tests could be any test here, but these four methods are important here. With before each test, these before each, and after each test, these things run. These things should be running. Okay. Okay, guys. So that's all for today. I know these are like a lot of things. These are very new things, whatever we are discussing. But yeah, just try to grasp some of the concepts, because most of the time you will not get time to develop these things. But some tester has already developed these things. You got some tasks. Maybe people will ask, you have to modify these things. So you should be knowing about these things, like what to do, modify, what to do, where to do these things, these type of things. You should be knowing it. Yes, so we will do tomorrow. 10 o'clock. Okay. Okay, guys. Then we will wrap it here and we will talk tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Happy Janmashtami. We'll talk tomorrow and we'll continue from here. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.